they have to check all the company, the Vietnamese company, and then give some the rating, and then make it group. So that is the first thing we have to consider. And then second thing is that we have to activate or promote the institutional client, who is the buyer. So in this corporate market, actually, this is very professional the market. It means that the normal the investor, something like an individual client, is not easy to access. So the institutional client who has a very professional knowledge about the company have to approach this company for the safety of all the investor. But in Vietnam, institutional client is very limited, as we discussed, the only bank. But so to activate this one, we have to promote institutional client, something like a bank, and then insurance company, and then we also have to motivate the fund. So usually in another country, the equity, not equity fund, some the bond fund is very main investor of the corporate bond. You know, the money market fund or the fixed income fund or the corporate fund. So this kind of the fund is the main buyer of the corporate bond, and then this fund is actually already recognized some the risk of the bond market. It means that they are very professional, and then they control some risk as the asset allocation. So diversify. So if I'm the bond fund manager, I buy the 10 kinds of the bond, corporate bond, not focus on only one bond. So I have the 10 or the 20, and then allocate my bond asset very diversify, actually, my corporate bond asset. So and then if I have some one corporate bond have some problem, the another one is okay, and then I can protect the fund. So we have to thinking about how to raise this kind of the institutional client, especially the fund is very important.
So next question is like, please give your forecast about the corporate bond market of Vietnam in the second half of this year.
Yeah, in the second half year, actually, I think it's also very active because, as I mentioned, in the bank, they also have to take care their own the liquidities, and then the real estate the company or even though another sector, the real estate company needs some the funding to develop their own business. So the corporate bond market is a very the attractive market for them to make some kind of the bond, some funding. So this corporate bond market will be very active in the next 6 months also, next half year.
Thanks to the slowdown, the security money, the money will come from the security to
the right. It affects. If the stock market is not very active, actually investors have to thinking about another option. So this for the investor, actually corporate bond will be another the market for investing.
The last question, can you give your comment about the chance of the security market?
Yeah.
Especially with the new things happen between the US and China.
Yes, actually in the Vietnamese stock market is really strong compared to another foreign country. But as you know, currently the global stock market in the US or the China all affected by this kind of the trade war. And then so that's the reason all the main countries, the stock price is already going down. So I think it will affect to the stock market is more. But in case of the Vietnam, actually it is affected now, but the economic growth rate is very good. And then all the fundamental is very sound now. So I think in some times later they will recover.
So what about the behavior of foreign investor, especially Korean investor now? Are they just stand aside and wait for the market to recover?
For the Korean investor, actually they are not very active to invest in the stock market because the Vietnamese stock market also not just as fluctuated now with some of the range. So, but they don't want to leave because they believe some potential growing the story in Vietnam. So they really stay. So that's the reason they want to find out another option. So when the stock market is not very good, so they usually move to some kind of the fixed asset, something like a corporate bond or some the city, something like that. And then they just stay, and then when the market is recover, and then they move to the stock markets also. So that is one of the reasons I mentioned the corporate market will be active in the last half years also.
They keep the money inside the market, but what about the new? Are there any new money from Korea to Vietnam?
Yes,
recently?
new money is a little bit continuously, not very the big amount compared to the rest of the year, but not reduced. It is a very good signal also.
Do you still have new investor or just one?
New investors, we have always new investor, but currently they try to find some another options also, not only for the stock market. And then they try to find another option, something like the fixed deck sale. Like that.
So please stay here for just a few minutes for the cameraman to film.
Sure.
Angle. Do you have any figures to share with us about the trend of the Korean investor?
FDI.
Sorry.
Uh,
Được lấy thành công